This won't be your regular video on YouTube about some meme token with a guy screaming about how great it is, you need to buy and things like that. This is a structural, logical video with a bunch of research that I've made from my end. I will be presenting my thesis for Blast chain in the first place, layer 2 on Ethereum, and for Andy on Blast as an ultimate meme leverage play. I don't think the market understands the potential at this stage. I don't think the market understands what is happening. I don't think that anyone understands how bullish the things that I'm going to share are. This video will forever be in the YouTube library. I want to keep it this way and I think it will be aging very, very well. Let's quickly go through the structure that I have for this video, and I will also explain to you why I'm qualified to speak on the topic in the first place. Blue chip Memecoin fundamental analysis, structure, intro, why I'm qualified to speak on the topic, thesis, declaration, chain exploration, USP and founder, expert's opinion, founding team, communication experience and ability to pivot, long-term potential, exit liquidity question, competitors analysis, main catalyst and narrative, thesis, invalidation. Who am I and why I'm qualified to speak on the topic? You know, I'm a meme coin expert of a blue chip meme coins. I don't trade them. I invest in the narratives, understanding second order of consequences, third order of consequences, positioning myself early and using most of the market as exit liquidity. Here is my pepe loan with $200,000 in profits at this stage and $74,000 already taken. You might ask where I actually publicly call this pepe loan. I call this pepe loan right here, several hours before the pump, without having any insider information, just by myself playing fair game on this market. Here is my bobo position. I have around $400,000 in bobo at this stage. I was doing multiple videos to accumulate bobo through all this time. I was holding for 8 months and I'm going to hold for at least a year at this stage. Here is my Andy on Blast position, $150,000 from 36,000 invested in the first place. I do also hold a lot of Wolf, I have a lot of Rido, I also have quite a lot of Welsh. And these are just meme coins, not speaking about all the layer ones and all the things that I'm holding. But speaking about meme coins, I've done that from $42,000 initials, right, at this stage. And these are blue chip meme coins. These are not your Solana garbage stuff that will go to zero tomorrow. These are the things that will be front running this cycle. And I already have bags of this size at this stage of the market. Imagine what will be happening moving forward. I formed long-term thesis on each and every one of them. I bought, I'm holding, and I will continue to hold as well. I believe meme coins will be the most performing narrative of this cycle, and I believe that all of the profits from shit coins at this stage will come into blue chip meme coins of this cycle. Moving forward to the point number 2, Andy on Blast thesis. Andy on Blast is a blue chip meme token that will be reaching 1 billion market cap this cycle because he is an original character of the largest meme of this cycle. Pepe from the original artist is also a yellow character on yellow chain, which is very, very important. That's simple degenerate logic that you should not be neglecting from your end. Andy has a great short-term catalyst with Blast airdrop, adding a lot of house money into the Blast ecosystem that market participants should be spending on meme tokens. Casino. Andy has a great set of holders, whales buying it with great price action, not a lot of JITs. Has narrative that public does not understand and not appreciate currently. If the narrative is being hated by the public, or is not understood at this stage, this means that there is upside in the narrative. If everyone understands it and everyone's screaming about it, it means there is zero upside. You might actually create some parallels by yourself in a couple of chains that are hyped up currently, right? Blast chain is ran by the crypto founder who disrupted NFTs industry and took over it with successful Blur project. He's one of the greatest founders backing up great product this cycle that won already, therefore has a higher chance of success to win. Before his Blur success, where he disrupted NFT market and took 80% of it, pretty much becoming a monopoly. He had a successful exit from a company, which is also very interesting. Thesis invalidation. I will have several points from my end that should be invalidating the thesis on Blast and on Andy on Blast that I would also be sharing closer to the end of this report, of this video. Moving forward, thesis main questions. Is there a capital inflow into the ecosystem? Who is your exit liquidity? Market mispricing the narrative, not understanding it. Is it hard to buy? What do experts think of the thesis? Did the coin went through 80% drop and didn't rock? Is the founder a winning crypto founder with right motives? These are some of the things that we would be going through this video, and I will also specifically answer into them closer to the end of the video as well. This piece of content will actually respond to this question. My goal is to explain the thesis. My goal is to share it and actually to listen to your feedback in the comments as well, because it's very interesting how you would find this thesis yourself. First question that we will be starting with, chain founder. Is he a winning horse? Recent YouTube interview says it all. Just 2 days ago on the Bankless podcast, we had an interview published with Blur and Blast chain founder. I recommend to view the whole thing by yourself. I will just show a tiny piece of the interview.
We want to build the L2 that provides the most value to developers and users. The most value of any L2. That's our goal. And we see the path to getting there is, you have this L2 with native yield where everyone's just earning that by default. But also now you're enabling new types of applications. Robinhood, for example, right? Like them charging, zero fees, that's actually providing more value to the market than if they had charged no fees. So it's like these business model unlocks. It's not just like, oh, it's a new business model. It's like, no, this is actually providing more value to the market. This is why these disruptive business models get adopted in the first place. So the only thing driving us is that we want to build the L2 that provides the most value to end users and developers.
I know it's a very small piece and you would probably not understand much of it. He demonstrates excessive technical knowledge on the interview. Hosts of Bankless, they are great guys, but it's very hard for them to keep up with the things that this guy is saying and with the things that this guy is talking about. At the same time, he shows great understanding of business part as well and how crypto works and crypto businesses work in general. I will also have a thesis that Chinese Americans are superhumans, and I will prove it to you in this video as well. In order to understand if the founder of the crypto project is actually a winning horse, we have to focus on his previous projects. We have to understand what he has done recently. Was it a success? Did he rock some things in the first place? Right? What is his background? And Blast founder is very famous with his Blur NFT marketplace project, company, product that took 80% of the NFT marketplace. And I see so many people on Twitter currently saying that it's just for whales, no one is using it and they are neglecting it, and go build another one. Go build something in your life and take 80% of the market share. Go do it, right? I know that 99% of people in crypto, they're actually nobodies before crypto. They didn't achieve anything in their life. They got some following, they got lucky with some coins, they started to behave themselves as influencers. They're not coming from real businesses, from real experience, from real skills. And they're still saying things like this. And I'm not like them. Do you see this company? Custom software development company, Interexi. 40 clients reviews, 100 clients reviews, 5 stars, very clean UI, a bunch of reviews. Clients like SAP, like General Electric, like City of New York, like Square, largest exchanges in Japan, a lot of companies in crypto as well. Why I'm showing this interface to you? Because I'm the founder and the CEO of this company, 200 employees. 150 plus software engineers. I'm not a nobody. I'm not a part of 99% of people in crypto who did not achieve anything in their life before crypto. Speaking about all these naysayers on Twitter, most of the influencers and things like that. And specifically on top of that, I work a lot with tech founders. I work a lot with startups. We've launched more than 100 tech products in the last 5 years. It's not some crypto pump and dump. We didn't start it yesterday. The company is 5 years old at this stage. 5 years of hard and honest work in the real business sector. Web 2 and a bit of Web 3 as well. I check out the interview. I see the guy's the genius right away. Things he's saying, how he's saying them, previous experience, exit from the company, success with Blur, disrupting the industry. You have to bet on the winning horses. And still we have all these naysayers saying that it's bad for the industry, it's a Ponzi. We will actually tap into these things as well. In terms of the founder of Blast, in terms of the Pac-Man and Blast, and the whole situation that is happening around Blast as well. Let's actually fixate at this stage. He successfully launched the platform that took 80% of market share. Do you know how many NFT marketplaces were on the market at the end of the last cycle? It's so crazy to actually neglect this. Moving forward, solving fires in business. If you're a business owner, you probably know that there are a bunch of fires appearing from time to time in different things. You have to solve them most of the time, right? If you want your business to succeed and actually stay alive. And if you're buying a service from a business or a product, by the way you see a business actually solving fires, or a business owner, a founder of the company solving fires, you can understand so much. You can understand so much about business experience, about what type of the person it is, about motives, about qualities, about values, which are very, very important in business as well. We had recent issue with Munchables. Here is a comment from Pac-Man, from the founder of Blur and Blast. 97 million has been secured in a multi-sig by Blast core contributors. Took an incredible lift in the background, but I'm grateful the ex-Munchables dev opted to return all funds in the end without any ransom required. Basically, one of the protocols on Blast was compromised, and they are returning the funds. Did you see this on any chain before? Something like this happening? It's so crazy. 99% of projects would just tell, F you, we're not the part of the chain, we're not the part of the project, you knew your risks, deal with them yourself. It's so crazy that something like this actually is happening in crypto. It definitely shows long-term view as well. Definitely shows it. Long-term view and long-term focus. One of the comments under the interview that I actually decided to show as well. I have my money on this kid, just like how I bet big on Vitalik and Ethereum. These kids are just different. The talent in this space is insane, yet you still have all the holdouts and governments pushbacks. But you know, this is just me stating facts, talking about something. Let's actually focus on the fact that the chain was able to achieve in 3 weeks. It actually only launched 3 weeks back, right? Moving forward. Blast. Top 2 total value locked in all Ethereum layer 2s. Right after Arbitrum, more than Base. Despite all these people screaming about Base on Twitter, on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of views, millions of views, yet Blast TVL is larger than Base. Top 2 TVL and token is not even launched yet. Not the best user experience at this stage also. Kind of the similar situation to Base, right? Native yield for Ethereum and stablecoins. This is the main USP of this chain. This is why it's actually been called the Ponzi. Because just by bridging your Ethereum and stablecoins on the chain, you are getting 4% yield on your Ethereum and 5% yield on your stablecoins. And there are a bunch of protocols that are actually built on chain around that. There are so many people predicting DeFi summer that should be happening quite soon. There are so many people that already made so much profits this cycle and will be making so much profits this cycle as well, that will be looking to pack up the profits. Same thing that happened with Luna last cycle, but Luna yield was 20%, which is way higher than risk-free yield, right? And what we see on Blast, 4% on ETH, 5% on stablecoins. This is exactly the numbers for risk-free yield in the US, somewhere between 4 and 5%. And they're actually achieving this yield through the usage of the protocols that are based on real-world assets. That's one of the main reasons for TVL as well. But let me ask you a question. If you're building new products, do you actually want to build products on the chain where a lot of people have a lot of liquid money on, where the TVL is so large, so you would actually have access to this type of TVL when building things? Not speaking about the airdrop that should be happening on this layer 2, that should benefit developers on the chain a lot. You can ask yourself this question. It's one of the reasons why people are still building on Ethereum, and Blast is very, very interesting from this point of view in comparison to the competition that we have on the marketplace. Because number 2 chain by total value locked after 3 weeks after the launch, which is not hyped at all at this stage. No one is talking about Blast. No one. They're screaming about Base. They're screaming about Solana, right? So crazy to me. Viral point system that was used for Blur to attract market attention and is being used for Blast by the person who implemented it in crypto successfully. All eyes on Blast. There is a bunch of feedback in crypto Twitter, on the web as well, how the system was engagement farming, it was not fair and things like that. But we definitely had the fact that it pretty much turned all the eyes on Blur in the first place. The same type of system, but the same type of team is being implemented on this chain. The guy was called a genius just for this, and it's pretty much a small part of marketing in connection with their very, very good understanding of crypto space. What people like, how they think, what they want to do, what they don't want to do, and things like that. The same point system, similar point system that was implemented on Blur, which was a huge success, is implemented on Blast. Something that worked already by the guy who disrupted the industry, crypto industry already. How many founders, how many second-time founders you actually have with products in crypto that have disrupted something already, a huge industry in crypto with huge trading volumes, and they're building something else. They're building a second product which is already disrupting the industry, pretty much industry of layer 2s. Blast has become the 6th largest chain by DApp total value locked, second largest layer 2. It's only been 27 days since mainnet launch. There is much more to come from here. Number 6 chain by total value locked in 27 days. A giant Ponzi, right? I will have something to say on this as well. You need to understand the potential. You need to understand what is happening. You need to understand what are they hiding from you and what type of opportunity is actually presented to you as well. But I'm just sharing my thesis. If you would like my thesis, but I'm just sharing my thesis. I'm looking for approval or disapproval of the thesis at this stage, and I'm looking to have this video in the history of crypto, in the history of YouTube. I would be very, very interested to check out this video 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, and just see what is just see if the thesis is playing out, because it's peak crypto investing. It might be peak crypto investing performance with me publicly explaining the whole thesis to the market and seeing how the market would essentially understand the thesis over time, of course, because my channel is still quite small. Previous success was one of the largest airdrops of last year, Blur, with the whole market focusing on it. 100 million airdrop. Blur airdrop 100 million worth of tokens. New blockchain Blast promises even more to Blur airdrop receive. Blur airdrop 100 million worth of tokens. New blockchain Blast promises even more to Blur airdrop recipients. Do you actually understand how crazy this is? Because we have a defined date for airdrop. We don't have one for base, all right? We have previous success with the airdrop, because I can definitely say you it's still very, very hard to actually host and launch a proper airdrop with proper incentives, and they have a rewards point system that they invented, they introduced into the marketplace, that was adopted after that by many, many projects, and that was called genius in the first place. And they are stating that the airdrop might even be larger than the airdrop for Blur. So crazy to me. It's happening in 1.5 in 2 months from now. I also have to share expert opinion, market opinion on Blast chain at this stage. It's definitely controversial. I will share the controversial part in the next point. Right now, I would like to circle back to the interview with the founder and CEO of Godbit hedge fund, guys that are managing more than $1 billion in assets, and the guys that are market makers behind the success of Bonk. Let's see what the guy who was on Satoshi Roundtable, who is speaking with largest names in the industry, is stating on Blast chain. I'm not saying this is your last resort. Like Alex said that, wow, it's so bullish and things like that. It's just an interesting notification, interesting note to take how people with insights that are working in the market on a daily basis, that have legit large business that was present in this marketplace for many, many, many years, right? At least 6. You don't have a lot of businesses like this in the market. What are they thinking on this specific chain? That's just a notification. Let's move on. Blast controversial. Base, Fed chain, Blast, Ponzi chain. Where are you putting your money and on? Very, very interesting comment. Sell off after airdrop and long-term potential. There is a large piece of controversial opinion around Blast chain circling around the marketplace. There are a bunch of ETH whales that will use you as exit liquidity. The whole chain is just the Ponzi because everything actually is based on money. Because of this native yield, there are a bunch of protocols that are built by Fiverr engineers. Their code bases are just forked. There is nothing new. They're just hunting for money. There are some games where yields are crazy, just a giant Ponzi, and it will stop, it will crash at certain point of time. You're probably coming to this channel looking for answers, right? And if you would ask the question, Stan, is Blast a giant Ponzi? My response, I don't know. I can explain to you how I'm playing this situation. We should have DeFi, maybe even DeFi summer. We should definitely have a DeFi trend in this marketplace because at some point of time, people will have so much profits. They would start playing this Ponzi game DeFi one more time. And if you are stating that, oh, no one is going to do that because last DeFi summer was 4 years ago and everything just scammed and things like that, it's wrong logic in the first place. We won't have bull markets every 4 years if people would actually learning not to do something or to do something in the first place. The reason the cycle is cyclical, the reason we have cycles once in 4 years, and I'm not talking about Bitcoin cycle, I'm talking about global liquidity cycle. The reason we have this is because people tend to forget in these 4 years what happened with them, and they tend to just come back and ape, and saying that we won't have DeFi summer is the same thing as saying we won't have retail coming back into the market this cycle. And where people are going to spend the DeFi summer? On the chain where the TVL is large, on the chain where you don't have any transaction fees, on the chain where you have native yield on your Ethereum and stablecoins just by default, on the chain where you have a bunch of protocols, DeFi Ponzis. And it's very, very interesting to hear that Blast is a Ponzi, all these protocols are Ponzis, and the same people, they say specifically that crypto is a Ponzi. They understand this. They understand it 100%. Crypto is a Ponzi in the first place. You just need to understand the rules of the game and decide for yourself if you want to play and pull out on time. There are quite a few situations where you actually need to pull out on time in life, right? However, if I'm choosing to play Ponzi myself, am I going to play safe Ponzi? Am I going to play weak Ponzi? Am I going to play Ponzi that does not make money, therefore people are not interested in it? The only reason Axie Infinity was a gaming success of the last cycle is because it was the best Ponzi in gaming. I have the same thesis for this cycle as well. The best performing game of this cycle is not going to be AAA shooter graphics gameplay. Best Ponzi game is going to be the best game of this cycle, the best crypto gaming project. I would actually love for Blast to be the best Ponzi of this cycle. Obviously, I don't want for Blast to crash. Still, I would be planning to pull out on time, earlier, sooner, before the peak, before the final crash as well. And my proposition with Andy on Blast is a very, very interesting one, because I'm not proposing to participate in Ponzi yourself. I'm proposing to capitalize the maximum on people who would be participating in the Ponzi, because if they will be printing a bunch of money in the Ponzis, this money will actually be treated as casino money, as house money. Therefore, people will come to a casino and play this casino with this money, and I will be waiting on the other side of the table with my Andy on Blast, waiting to actually take their money that they earned with their Ponzis. I think it's an awesome narrative for the chain, and it actually serves this longevity issue as well, because with Blast we have this catalyst, we have the narrative of the airdrop, but it would be very, very bearish for my thesis for Blast not to have any long-term narrative as well. And right now, after this research, long-term narrative of Base is very, very clear. Ponzis are going to do very, very well on Blast. I don't think it actually does anything bad for Blast in the first place, because everything in crypto is a Ponzi. You should understand this. People will be making money on these Ponzis, and people will be playing with this money in on-chain casino, buying my Andy on Blast token from me, serving as my exit liquidity. And the more we will go into the cycle, the more profits people will be making. And when people are making banks more and more profits, a lot of them are changing their behavior. They're becoming less risk averse. They try to keep the capital a bit safer, right? But at the same time, they would want to have nice yield on the capital. They will want to multiply it in a default way, in a safe way. That's why we actually have DeFi summers, because no one is using DeFi Ponzis before they made profits. DeFi Ponzis are usually used to multiply their profits. And once this will be happening, once this flywheel of all the people taking money from the market will be happening, they will probably pack the profits in DeFi Ponzis, and some of the yield will be used in on-chain casino with my Andy on Blast. This is my long-term thesis for Andy on Blast and for the Blast in the first place as well, which counters this sell then use event on the airdrop. Although I do still think that we might have a sell-off event during the airdrop on Blast. It's quite interesting that we definitely have the analogy with Luna here as well. People were putting hundreds of millions of dollars at the end of the last cycle. Successful people who made a bunch of money in crypto, and they were losing it all. So crazy. But Blast is definitely safer because their yield is actually similar to risk-free yield in the US. And some people who are more risk-averse, they would want to play with on-chain protocols, which are going to be real Ponzis. Providing the public with larger yield rates, but at the same time larger risks as well. I'm not going to play this game. I'm going to safely sit in my blue chip meme that's going to at least $1 billion. It's bearish. It's FUD. It's honestly FUD to actually say that Andy will be 1 billion. I think it's going to go way larger, depending on the success of Blast Chain, obviously. Great chunk of hate from base adepts. Good. They see the competition and recognize it. Mindshare is there, market mispricing the potential. This is something I love to see at this stage, because we see a bunch of base guys actually hating on Blast, saying that it's Ponzi, it's a scam, and things like that. We definitely start to see this competition in the first place. We do understand that the mindshare is there. And I like the situation because through this hate to the chain, therefore once they would decide to buy eventually, is going to be like an avalanche. They will just enter the whole space. They will just price up and surge up the whole things on Blast. And it's very, very interesting because hate from the market actually partially stopped me from minting node monkeys. I would have 7 node monkeys at this stage. I would have $350,000 from $10,000 that I would spend that I actually had on my wallet initially, right? I think the same situation might be happening here. It's very, very interesting. I do love to see the mindshare. I do love to see the competition. I do love to see the comparisons. I do love to see these people capitulating as well. Capitulation, right now, at the moment of the recording of this video, potential, your upside for blasting is asymmetric in comparison to your downside actually being asymmetric short term on base right now. I do think that base might actually start to cool off for quite some time. Moving forward to my main narrative of Andy on Blast, right? Why I'm bullish on Andy on Blast? Because Andy is fourth character from original Pepe artist. We have Pepe, we have Brett, we have Wolf, we have Andy. We have Pepe on Ethereum, Brett on Base, Wolf on Avex, Andy on Blast. And very, very important thing and very, very important narrative is that yellow character should be on yellow chain. The same as red character should be on red chain. The same as blue character should be on blue chain. That's stupid degen logic, but it's 100% logic. It's very, very straightforward. It's very, very solid. You cannot neglect these things in the first place. It's unquestionable. This is how these things should be in the first place. And it's very, very bullish for narrative of Andy as well, because none of the current memes on Blast would be able to piggyback $40 billion Pepe. None of them would be. I would say that 40 billion for Pepe this cycle is also flat. I do think it's going to go higher. But if Pepe would be at $40 billion, all of these 4 memes, they would be at least 1 billion, depending on how the teams would essentially behave. If teams during this time frame won't be rugging these memes. But a great thing that I actually would be sharing as well is that each and every of these memes, except Brett actually, Wolf and Andy, they went through 80% dips already. So they were reaching all-time highs and then they went to 80% dips. Team didn't rock. Both teams did not rock. Wolf on Alex and Andy on Blast. I like to buy these type of projects very, very much. They're not rocks in the first place. Teams support the projects because they understand the narrative. They understand that there are none, 0 meme tokens on these chains that would be able to piggyback 40 billion Pepe, and they will be top on the chains. You have Cock on Avex, which is right now like 30 times larger, 40 times larger than Wolf, but I do actually think that Wolf will be flipping Cock on Avex, just because of the fact Cock won't be able to piggyback 40 billion narrative and 40 million meme token, which is Pepe, and Wolf will be able to do that. Andy on Base thesis, just in points. Yellow character on yellow chain, original character from Pepe artist. Pepe hits 40 billion market cap, all of them should be at least 1 billion market cap. Team pivoting and adjusting to the market feedback. This is actually the story that I wanted to share and something I wanted to show. I think this action actually pushed me to buy $10,000 more of Andy at the lows. Although I think I bought first and after that I saw something interesting happen. So in order for me to actually show this, I need to scroll down. I need to show you something on Twitter page of Andy on Blast, because one of the most important things for these meme projects, I know a lot about them, I was sitting in them since summer, is actually posting quality memes. Quality memes close to the original artist, right? And a very, very interesting thing on Andy that actually happened. Check out these memes. Do they look like original Andy character? This meme, right? They don't look like original Andy character at all. And I was in some groups that, and we were talking about Andy, right? And some people were sharing feedback, right? They were sharing like, this art is just, it's not close to the original art of the original artist. Like, I'm bearish on this meme because art is so far away from the original artist. And I became quite emotional. I had some contact with the founder of ND team. By the way, I'm not paid for these reviews. I'm not paid by anyone. Understand the narrative. I bought $36,000 of this meme from the market, and I'm just sharing the thesis. I'm just creating this video as a library. Honestly, I'm creating this video to be able to throw this video into the face of naysayers in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 9 months from now. I think that after this video, I can close the channel right away. I cannot publish anything else because it will be so true. It will appreciate in value over time so much. It will do so well. And I'm doing this after my bobo call, after my snibu call. So crazy. Welsh, Rido. Well, man, what happened after this, right? I reached out. This meme, this one, actually was created with my help. I just told them to use this, just asked, right? Suggested to use in the first place. And after that, we saw a pivot of the artist to use original art of the original artist. Do you see this? Can you compare these two memes and something like this? This is not Andy. This is like some personalized original thing, right? They started to actually draw Andy specifically as the original artist of Pepe, Bobo, of Pepe, Brad, Wolf, and Andy. Actually was drawing them in the first place. These characters, right? And this is Andy from the original artist. This is very important. The reason I'm showing you this is because you have to understand that the team actually is able to pivot. That the team followed the advice, they saw large attraction, they continued, and the meme is crushing it currently. The art is so great. The character looks so nice with the Brad and with other characters. It's so great. Like he's stoned. You see, he basically had several pots. He smoked a couple before this. He's enjoying his life. He is relatable. He's like you and me. I'm obviously bigger, probably 2 to 3 times. I'm quite large as well. But still, right? He is very relatable in the first place. Very great memes. Very nice art. The team shows the ability to pivot. I don't understand that if you're not in the meme game, if you don't understand these things, specifically blue chip memes, you might think that, oh, like it's not much. It's so important. You cannot even imagine how important this thing is for blue chip meme token. This is the most important thing that actually might be happening for a blue chip meme token. Speaking about art, that should be 80% of the focus. Speaking about of actually memes that people can relate to, that should be 80% of the focus of each and every team that is running their own meme, right? Whales support based on chart plus insights. So something I saw on the chart as well is that people are not selling Andy on Blast a lot. Like right now, obviously pumped, and we've seen a correction because some people, they just need to take profits. They cannot hold, they need to take profits and reposition to some Solana crap and get scammed, right? They don't understand the blue chipness, but I think after this video, the thesis would be way more clear, I would say. And I want you to debate on this thesis. I want to share your feedback. I want you to share like why the thesis is bad, because it's very important, and I will have invalidation points for my thesis at the end of the video as well. But I know in the first place of couple whale communities that were buying into this thing, because it's very easy to understand the thesis in the first place. And following the price movement on the chart, after the dip, after the initial drop from $10 million to $2 million, I did not see a lot of people selling. We're just going straight up quite steadily. And right now, there are some people selling because maybe they have small amount of funds, they don't understand the thesis, they're not in this meme game, they maybe came here from Twitter or like from some other sources and things like that. So we definitely see small amount of people of selling, right? And the whole thing correcting as well. But it's still quite strong. And BTC is not doing well at this stage. Outlier, price action. That's one of your points that you should consider as well, right? Moving forward, number 12, it's essentially my thesis about meme coins this cycle. And I think I have a pure blue chip. Obviously, if the team won't track, if the chain won't track, but I would have my validation thesis at the end of the video. Take meme serious. Once people who are holding old stuff like UNT dot, whatever, realize they've almost wasted a whole cycle, they will capitulate and end up taking max risk to make up for it. Retail with $1,000 doesn't care about your Ethereum layer 1, they want the quick come up. Memecoin millionaire stories will make them think that they are the ones who can achieve it too. Jealousy, capitulation from the people who are holding older caps, larger caps, that are just doing nothing and pretty much dying with VCs dumping on them. Dunning-Kruger effect, which would essentially tell in the minds of every person that he is overqualified. He's making money on the market, right? Just for this money to actually be taken from him once you would see the change into the bear market. Wealth effect, too much money, not comfortable for a person. They would want to throw it somewhere else because too much money, not comfortable. I was doing it in my life so many times. You just become too comfortable if you're making too much money and you think for yourself in your subconscious that it's just too much, right? Desperate retail makes sense. Meme coins, large cap holders wanted to take risk. Rising optimism makes sense as well. It usually happens at the end of the cycle as well. Memecoin super cycle. On Blast, we have long-term narrative that it's great DeFi Ponzi that will be used, that already has largest TVL, nice airdrop, point system to attract crypto people into this thing as well. I do believe that my exit liquidity is actually solved at this stage, but we will talk about this as well. Moving forward, competitors analysis. No other memes with the same narrative on Blast, capable of piggybacking 40 billion market cap meme token. Speaking of other memes, what do we have? Yield is not a meme. Cat B seems like a meme. Maybe it actually was launched by some whales, seeing the success of Andy. Maybe it's going to be a blue chip because the same story happened with Toshi and Brett. Whales understood the narrative for base and they decided to launch Brett to overrun Toshi because they were not able to accumulate Toshi at the lows, right? Let's see how this thing will behave. But anyway, it will not be able to piggyback 40 billion market cap meme token, right? It's quite interesting that it's a cat following kind of this change of meta to cats. Pack that we have is probably some connection to the pack, is probably some connection to the founder of the chain as well. Fully diluted market cap is $40 million, but liquidity is 700k. Let's check Andy. Liquidity on Andy is larger than liquidity on pack. And I would be trusting something way better that has lower market cap because I don't like these inflated large market caps because there's just not enough liquidity there. They won't be able to take a lot of profits themselves. They would just send the price to zero. Let's actually see what will be happening with Cat B, but it pretty much just launched today. It might be rack. It won't be able to piggyback 40 billion market cap token, which is Pepe. And we did not see Cat B through 80% dip that we already saw on Andy. I think Andy is a winning narrative here. I think no other memes like Andy will be able to win on Blast. I think that Andy is a blue chip of a Blast chain because of connection to Pepe. Moving forward, main thesis and catalyst spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet with several questions I would like to go through and score them from 0 to 10. Is there a notable solid flow of capital you are recognizing to sum into this coin sector in the future? Let's just do 9, but I would put 10. Largest TVL for layer 2s. They will flip arbiter 100% because of the Ponzinomics of this chain, right? On top of that, short term we have airdrop. I would actually put 10 because I think that Ponzinomics with a bunch of rich crypto whales is way better than a bunch of retail coming into the chain. It's going to actually be very interesting to see their competition. I think that profits made on retail on base, they might be easily repositioned into Ponzi's on Blast. And yield from these Ponzi's, it will be thrown into Andy as a blue chip meme token on the chain. Is there a big difference between current interest and future interest in the coin sector, popular or mispriced? Mispriced 100%. And Blast is hated on currently. Well, it's very good. I would say 8 at this stage. Is it hard to buy a coin? Yes, it's hard. You need to bridge, you need to do a lot of things. Who is your exit liquidity? My exit liquidity short-term, people who would be receiving airdrop and playing with the house money. Long-term, my exit liquidity are crypto people with a bunch of profits who would like to participate in Ponzi's to get a great yield on the projects, and they would be using this yield to throw into meme coins. I would put just 8 here. These people are definitely smarter than retail in the first place, but with people making money in these Ponzi's, we would also have a bunch of retail joining these Ponzi's. Exactly how it happened at the end of the last cycle with things like time. We had so many Ponzi's. I remember I was buying tokens on Ethereum, MSS, some reflection garbage, right? Is there a narrative you're positioning before that the market is not aware of? Of course, I am positioning before airdrop. I am positioning before Blast Chain is actually appreciated. I am positioning before a bunch of people jumping into Ponzinomics to yield, before DeFi summer. I would say even 9, because we have a short-term catalyst, we have a long-term catalyst. With Base, for example, we don't have short-term catalyst at this stage. Is there a compelling story behind the project that will resonate with future holders? Of course, we are piggybacking Pepe. We are yellow character of original artist of Pepe on yellow chain. Is this a new narrative that the market is yet to get excited about? Yes, I do think so. What do the experts think of your thesis? I would be interested to check out your feedback in the comments, guys. Speaking of the things that I mentioned, experts are bullish on Blast, and I know of several communities that were acquiring Andy as well, but there are quite a few expert people, I would say, that are shitting on Blast at this stage. But I'm not sure what they would think after they would actually see this thesis. I would be very interested to see the feedback. For this reason, I would say 7, but I would want to put 9. Has this type of coin previously appealed to your exit liquidity? Of course. We have Pepe, we have Brad, bunch of influencers are taking profits from Brad at this stage. We have Bobo as well, very similar story as well. I do think that it should be a 9 because it's a meme token in the first place. When you look at this project, are you able to see multiple steps ahead of a promising future that is not yet priced by the market? Yes, I just explained my whole thesis. Is there a die-hard cult leader leading the project who is obsessed with conquering the crypto industry, who reminds you of CZ? Of course, 10 out of 10. I'm obviously speaking about the founder of Blast here, so it's not specifically the founder of Andy token, but in meme coins, I would say the main thing with the teams is just making sure that they won't be rugged, that they don't have a bunch of tokens. But I do like the thought process of the founder. I do like the thought process of the team. I definitely see long-term focus there. And a very interesting thing about this meme is that since Blast is a Ponzi chain, people would want to use the assets on Blast in some staking, in some DeFi, and you can already stake for yield your Andy token, which is very nice because it would be removing them from circulation. You will be earning yield based on them, right? And it's generally just bullish. When you're staking, like price of Ethereum before DeFi was way lower. DeFi is all giant Ponzi. And once DeFi was integrated, price of Ethereum surged up as well. That's actually one of my main theses of why Bitcoin will be 700k this cycle, because DeFi for Bitcoin will be unlocked this cycle. How viral can this coin go? Is it something you can see millions of people talk about? Of course. Once Pepe would be reaching 40 billion market cap, is the project based on new technology or a new sector or some sort of new innovation? Yes. Blast, new technology. All right. Has the coin been through a pump and dump market cycle? Pump 10x, dumped 80% plus. Yes. Very good. What is thesis invalidation? So I have my thesis invalidation. I would say that it's quite unlikely that the thesis would be invalidated. I would say that the most weak point in the thesis, one of the most risk points, is that we definitely don't know all of the things about the team behind Andy on Blast, so we don't know how much tokens they hold. I do like the guys at this stage. I was speaking to one guy on Telegram just and that's it. But I do like that they were able to pivot, right? If they won't screw this up, if they won't be dumping, just dragging the whole thing to zero, all the other things like Pepe, scamming, Blast just being a Ponzi and crashing, I would say they're quite unlikable, at least not at the top of the cycle. I think at the top of the cycle, they're going to do very, very well. So I would say 8, all right? Competitors, no competitors at this stage. Bitget, well, let's see. Maybe we'll see the situation as with Brad and Toshi, right? With just new meme appearing and conquering the whole attention, but narrative behind Andy is so crazy. Let's actually check out the total score, which is 8.8. I would say it's very, very good for a meme token, for a project, right? Guys, you are getting such a professional analysis of a meme coin on this channel. I don't think you're actually getting this anywhere. It's so crazy. Thesis invalidation. Pepe scams or underperforms in the cycle. So let's say Solana memes are taking hold of space. People are crazy about WIF. They're not buying Pepe. I think Pepe narrative is just too good. I do think that just too many people know about this frog. They know this frog. They know this meme. So many people are not onboarded in the crypto and they know this meme. Blast scams as a Ponzi. Don't think it's going to happen at the top of the cycle because Ponzi does not scam at the top of the cycle. They scam when things are going south, when we are at the start of the bear market already. So if you actually would be planning to pull out somewhere at the top, you should be very, very fine. And the development team rocks. Andy rocks. So I would say this is one of the largest risks at this stage, but as mentioned, I do like the guys. I don't think that they would be doing that. I would probably be more comfortable if essentially it would be a community-run project, but at the same time, with community-run projects, it's harder with listings, it's harder with pivots, different opinions, and things like that. I do appreciate the work, I do appreciate the guys. And very, very interesting thing is that with these meme tokens, you don't have to do something very, very complex, right? You base and especially with their meme token, because they're Andy on Blast, they piggyback in Pepe. They cannot do anything. They can just post memes and pay exchanges to basically just list there. Nothing else. They don't need to do anything else. Their community should be doing the work for them. And I am, as a member of the community, is actually doing the work for them. Getting paid 0 by the team. I just bought myself because the narrative is so crazy. Under memes on chain win? Don't think so. I explained several times already. No long-term longevity on chain. No one cares. Explain my thesis about long-term part of Blast several times already. I think it's very, very clear at this stage. But do you actually know what is the most interesting thing with all these meme tokens? The most interesting thing is the fact that I'm actually making $100 million this cycle and keeping it. You can do nothing about it.